My legs are... That's a strange thing to start the stream with. My legs are really itchy for some reason. Anyway, welcome everyone to our Thursday night D&D session where we're following an adventuring team called the Blessed, so named because they have been chosen by the gods to help save this homebrew setting and campaign. To that note, they have been to various city-states, which function as the countries of this homebrew world, and they've been recruiting said city-states to the cause of trying to subdue a rogue city-state that's attacking its neighbors. And they have they're currently in the city of Odessa, famed for its wizards and sorcerers and other arcane magic users. They made friends with one of the ruling families of the city, a noble family known as the Lancasters, known for their fire magic. The Lancasters are going to be sort of the party's in to the to a meeting between the other noble families to decide what Odessa is going to do vis-a-vis the war. And the party will be called on to testify and things like that, but that meeting will take time to set up. And in the meantime, the party is going to help the Lancaster family out with some familial troubles. The Lancaster family is split into two sort of branches. There's a main branch, and there is a side branch. Anyone familiar with, I don't know, it comes up a lot in Japanese literature and anime. Naruto comes to mind. But basically, the main branch holds all the power, really, and the side branch is supposed to support the main family in anything it wants to do. But the leader of the main branch family and the side branch family are brothers, and the main branch family head is kind of a dick, to put it mildly. And so they're trying to split the families, apart for good, just to a nice clean break. Everyone goes their own way, and to do that, the party wants to defame the main branch head, if I'm getting that right, by disguising themselves or one member of the party as him, because he's become kind of recluse in the recent years. So disguising themselves as him and have him engage in illegal activities throughout Odessa, and to capture him in the act, or catch him in the act. And to do that, a daughter of the side branch family, Gwendolyn, suggested they talk to a professor at a magic university. She occasionally takes classes there, supplemental classes there, whenever she feels like it. It's called, the university itself is called the University of Magicraft and Theory, UMT. And it is the same university that Alistar taught at. But the professor, she said to see, one is working on a way to mass produce printed material, and that way they can make flyers and other papers, talking about the crimes of this person they're trying to defame. And another professor is working on capturing a moment in time on a piece of paper or metal.
Sounds like a bit of a gimmick, if you ask me.
Which can also help if they are able to capture him, so to speak, committing these acts. And then they can combine the two, post them around town, and begin the political assassination of this family head. Did I miss anything? It was kind of long-winded, but I had to set everything up. In case some people forgot, it has been 2 weeks. But correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm missing anything.
I think that's right.
I forgot, was Doc's integral to our plan?
Doc was actually the one who was going to impersonate the the Arden Lancaster is the name of the head
Oh
of
boy.
the main branch of the Lancaster family. But you can always, I mean, we're going to be playing for about 2 hours, so you can always go to the university and see what's up. Gwyn did mention that these people were working on these said inventions. They were not done with them, as far as she knows. So they might need some help in completing them. So you can always go and investigate and see what's going on with them. In fact, please do, because that's what I prepared.
Well, we do have. If this could accelerate the amount of reading material, printed material that could be disseminated throughout the area, well, couldn't that be a vessel through which we inform people and the rest of these other areas as to the movements and the plots of Norath and what they entail?
Yeah, could do.
It might be a little bit slow to utilize through the standard delivery method, which is horseback. However, if you were to use, this is a magical city. How many familiars do you think this place has?
Probably a lot.
Aye.
And were one to set up one's familiar to the best aerial familiar one can have, that hawk, isn't that right, Harold? Well, then you could attach a rather large message to said creature and then send it throughout the world. There's a flock, an air force of these creatures, all sent on the task of letting other people know what's going on in the world.
Are you talking about carrier pigeons? That's what Gwyn says, because those are already a thing.
Carrier hawks, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And this with but on a much larger scale.
I mean, if you think that these people are willing to help us out with that.
Oh, yes. They're, I mean, they share my family's views, so people view them as eccentric, at least as far as the majority of the populace of Odessa is concerned.
Okay, so what's our plan? Carrier hawks or university?
I mean, I would propose. I mean, I'm highly curious what's happening in the world. Is there any way that we can get some sort of news, or at least update on what's happening with the rest of the world?
So your NPC friend, Alaric, the exposition machine, so to speak, nice guy Alaric. He does send you every morning with updates on the war and asks for your progress on how goes the recruitment of the city states, and so. But he's at the front. He's the general of the armies, so you only get sort of the perspective of what's happening at the front. Really, you don't know exactly. I mean, he might mention what's going on in other city states and how they're contributing to the war effort. But as far as the general atmosphere of each city, you don't know what's going on exactly there. And he did tell you this. The reason Alaric wants the mages of Odessa to help is he wants to establish rapid transportation between all the allied city-states, to wit, teleportation circles that the mages of Odessa will be able to establish between all the allied city-states. So that's why he wants the mages. As well as they can make fire happen on the battlefield. A lot of fire.
I mean, other than that, it seems like that we have quite a bit of. Okay, anyways, sorry. Well, alright, so while Dox is taking care of what he needs to do, what is our plan then?
It's sounding like university or a hawk messaging.
Why not both?
Why not both?
I guess we could always, reassess the lethal angle.
I am always down to renegotiate that particular part of the plan. However, I do think, I hate to say it, that our other option is probably better. I'm way too tired to do Slizik's character voice, even though it's
Oh, it's
literally
fine.
just
Yeah, it's fine.
my
It's
voice
fine.
lower.
Just fine, lower, and more piratey. Arr!
Yeah, arr.
Arr! Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you plan on going to university, Gwyn can offer to escort you. But like I said, Alice. So the University of Magicraft, in theory, is not where you went, Aja, but it is where you went to a. There are many magical magic universities in Odessa. The UMT is one of the most prestigious. But there are others as well that are just as they would be essentially the Ivy League schools, and UMT is one of them. But yeah, Gwyn will offer to show you where it is and introduce you to the professors. She says they are. It's one Joseph Goodmount, and the other is Liliana de Geer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's French.
Would I know these people? Would I be familiar with them?
How have you I'm trying to phrase this right. How have you been keeping up on the events in Odessa since your departure?
I would inquire about it if and only if I'm in like a major city, from time to time.
Then you probably wouldn't have heard of these two. You definitely didn't recognize them from your time since you were here. But I mean, it's been 10 years, so they could have started their research in that time and developed something since you left.
Huh. Okay.
As to why you haven't heard of them, these seem, at least to you, one of them seems revolutionary, the other one seems, you're not sure of yet. As to why, at least that's my vibe. Is that correct? On Alistar's thoughts of these inventions?
These, the printing press and
And photography, essentially.
photography. It seems to him to be very much like the photography thing sounds gimmicky. The printing press seems like a good utility. I don't think it's quite hitting him the revolutionary aspect of it yet.
But you're surprised that you haven't heard about these, is what I was getting at, because at least one of them, they seem like at the very least novel inventions that could definitely benefit people, creature. I know there's more than just man and inhuman kind, so I can't say that. Creature kind. But it's the first you've heard of these things. But yeah, Gwen is offering to show you the way if you so choose. Or he says, or you can, if you want, just try to find it yourself. I mean, I see some of you are familiar with the city.
It doesn't hurt appearances to have a guide. So sure.
All right. I'd be happy to show you the way. And she asks before you leave if there's anything you want to do at the estate.
I can't think of anything.
All right. And so she's in her workout clothes, so she gets changed. And then you guys go out into the city. You go into because I believe I mentioned that there's like the rings of an onion, how the city is. And so you're in the second innermost ring, one outward from the center, and you go to one outward from that to get to the universities, the prestigious ones, and she directs you to this sprawling complex, numerous buildings, well kept lawns, old trees, old tall trees, and a lot of students you can see, just by the youthfulness of their faces and the robes they're wearing, a lack of um, ornamentation and stuff like that. You can see that there's clearly students walking around, and she's moving with purpose, but she is going at a pace that's easy for all of you to keep up with her.
Okay.
And she's guiding you to a sort of a smaller building to the side of these massive structures, and inside you go down into the basement, so to speak, into the bowels of this building, very cramped. They are glow globes, or sort of illuminating, but they're flickering, you know, and it's not the best place to be at. Certainly a far cry from what you remember, Alistar. You were never in the basement of this offshoot of a building. But you finally reach a door, and it says research on it. I can't think of a clever name because I'm also tired. So we'll just go with R&R department. And she opens the door and ushers you all inside. And she says, "Professors, it's me, Gwen." I brought friends. And then you see a very thin but young, but tired human man come in. He's wearing a sweater and pants and a white coat. And he looks very tired and haggard, and he has like a 5 o'clock shadow. He's got like a horrible case of bedhead. His dark hair is just sprawled all out, and he's wearing these thick sort of spectacles that are drooping down his nose. And he
Oh my God.
goes, not so loud.
That description was like the most anime shit I've heard in my life.
Yeah, I definitely had a mental image of this person.
Did we come at the wrong time by chance? I mean, we'll come back another time.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm always glad to show prospective students such as yourselves what manner of research we conduct here at UMT. Please come in.
I go in.
Go in.
I just taking a bit of a nap.
Yeah.
Insight
Can I-
check.
Yeah, can I
Insight check
also-
to see if he's actually been on a bender or something like that.
Yeah, you can insight check.
15.
Your passive perception is high enough, and you're close enough to him now too that you don't smell
Oh
anything.
no, my passive perception is actually pretty lame.
Oh,
Only
okay.
s-
Is it
Alchemist.
12 or higher?
It's a 13.
Okay, so you're close enough to him because he's walking next to you guys. That you don't smell alcohol. Like if you're on a bender, you'd expect that he would be exuding an aura that would be that you could smell the alcohol. You don't smell that, but as far as you can tell, just based on the bags under his eyes and his slightly slurred speech, you can definitely tell that he just woke up. He says, Leliana's out getting breakfast. She'll be back. But I can show you what I'm working on while we're waiting on her.
Sure.
For some reason, I'm just
By all means.
picturing L from Death Note only in a lab coat and glasses.
I don't think L's a pretty boy though. He's got blonde hair, and this guy's got dark hair.
L doesn't have blonde hair. Are you fucking insane?
Oh, I'm thinking of someone
That's,
else.
oh God!
Oh, uh-oh.
I almost just knocked over my $200 bong.
Who am I thinking of?
Nier, maybe like his brother.
Maybe,
Uh,
but but he says he takes you to this like wooden contraption, and he says, how familiar are you on the politics of our fair city of Odessa? I see you are visiting, based on your badges.
I'm going to ask a DM question. Would I be familiar since I be given my backstory with the politics?
If you're Starkhaven, like Starkholtian noble, or at least pretend to be one, you would have
Well, pretending one, yeah.
or pretend to be one, you would have certainly to fit the role, you would have read up on the the climate, the vibe, so to speak, of cities, just to have at least a passing knowledge, and you get the feeling that he's not referring to as he's more referring to like people's views on society and the pecking order, as it were, when he's talking about political climate, rather than maybe I worded it poorly. Words are hard sometimes. And I meant the discrimination of mages and non-mages, of course, the learned versus the unlearned, if you will.
Oh, yes. Familiar.
And what would you say is the greatest barrier to entry?
Knowledge. Seems to be.
Yes, and how does one acquire knowledge?
Through teaching or study.
Yes, observation. If you can afford a tutor or to attend a university, teaching, or you can read. Of course, you will be taught how to read, of course. But
I mean, Zakir has been taught how to read, and I think, despite his brutish appearance, he has a lot more knowledge. Don't you, Slizik? Can I just kind of give him the say something smart look?
Yeah, I found this orb. It made me smart and shit.
He's just kind of he says that in jest. He's
It's so
actually very
fucking righteous, dude.
do you
I killed
hold
a
it
guy
out
for it.
as you're saying this?
Yeah, sure. Fuck.
He adjusts his he goes, what a curious magic item. Careful
Yeah,
where
it's
you
super rad.
careful where you point to that, young man.
Yeah, it's almost
Actually,
certainly
he wouldn't
cursed.
say young man. He would say good sir. Sorry, he's as old as you, or slightly younger.
I got it from a super evil dude. It's probably fine.
Yes, quite. Well, my
He's
point
actually-
was, books are hard to come by. They must be painstakingly written down by a scribe, and as such, they are very expensive. I have devised a way to make books easier to create. I call it a printing press.
Oh, I thought you were gonna
Sounds
say it's
real dumb.
He's obviously holding for applause. There was a dramatic pause when he said, "I call it," and then there's a beat, and he says, "The printing press," and he like does like the Vanna White like reveal of his machine to
I
you.
make
And he's obviously holding his pose for applause.
I make
I
cricket noises.
I I applaud. Just
Yes, thank you.
like golf clap. Just the golf
I'm
clap.
just gonna come out and say it. It's a shit name.
Yeah, what a dumb idea.
He's obviously disturbed when you mentioned the name and how you don't
The
like it.
idea
Like,
is good, but yeah, sure.
Here's a suggestion. Why not take a stone tablet, enchant it to where it gets information coming in from from other contributors via 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 arcane means, and then they just paw right through it. Would never need a need for paper.
Seems expensive.
Do you know how much magical energy would be and composing be required to create what you just said?
But it would.
You would need a spellcaster who can perform at least 8th level magic.
Rather time consuming as well.
That's hundreds of thousands of gold pieces.
But a quality idea for the elite, perhaps. The powers that be could use such a thing. Keep in contact with each other, though they do already have sending. It's something worth looking into. I'm sure we can find a use for it.
My invention is intended for the common person, the lay person, the person who has not been born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but still wishes to pursue knowledge. I ask you this: how many hidden geniuses are amongst the populace? Do you think people that can?
Well, we have one right here, and I point to Slizik.
Yeah.
You keep saying that, but he keeps not acting like one. It's very confusing.
What do you mean? I scratch my ass or something?
Slizik, tell us how the currents work.
Your vocabulary, good sir.
Slizik, why don't you tell the people how? Why don't you tell them how the ocean currents work?
Oh, okay. There's this person called Nyrisi. She does it. The end.
Yes. Quite so.
Yeah, see? And they called me a bronze. Idiots.
Okay,
I
getting
won't
back on
clap
topic.
for that.
Back on topic. My invention allows the rapid production of books that can be disseminated throughout the populace, and provide them a base level of education and knowledge.
So I'm by the machine, and I'm like, I see the lever. It's like, does it work like this? And I kind of start slowly.
No, don't! And you pull it,
Just stop.
and this it looks like, I don't know if you've seen a picture of a printing press, but there's like these sheaves are going through it again, and there's no sheaves set up in there of paper, so you're just pressing this thing down on essentially a metal plate. You'll hurt it if you do it too hard.
I'm not doing it hard. I'm going slowly down.
Okay, just calm down. You need paper first.
Oh, paper. Oh, that's right, paper. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, just let me make sure. Just check it's not damaged. Okay, and he's looking at the piece. He's looking at the printing press over, and he says, yes. Well, the most difficult thing, of course, was to figure out how to how do I phrase it? I know what it's called in real life, but how would he phrase it? To get a system for moving the words, how would you say it? A system for changing the words that are printed on each page.
A typeset, if you will.
Yes. Well, he's like. Anyway, I'm sorry, I can't think of how he would say it. Anyway, I devised a sort of metal contraption that has sliding characters of the alphabet on it, and you can just slide them into place to what you want each page to say, and then you just print on that, and ta-ta, you're done.
All right. It's all well and good.
As I was saying, that piece is integral to the whole Odessa.
Oh?
It's missing. Where is it? Where's our mental
no.
matrix?
What?
The piece, the most integral part of the whole printing press. The metal
It's
matrix,
gone?
where the words are.
Metal matrix.
This is
Okay.
what
You
I
need
call
to
it.
work on your branding.
Actually, that was the coolest part of the whole thing. It has Matrix in it.
It's missing. It's gone.
Oh, what? What?
Oh, I smell a job. Where could it possibly have gone?
Describe it to me. What is this? What is this thing like?
And he says, so I had links for photography, but not for the metal matrix. So he says, it's like a, he says, you know those puzzle pieces, you know those puzzles that you can slide the tiles in to form an image?
Yes.
It looks like that, because the tiles have letters on them. You slide them into position of what words you want to make.
Okay.
It's large, but you can one person can still hold it, and he's like miming the dimensions to you. He's like, who?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like thinking. He's like, who could have done my research isn't popular amongst the other professors, you know.
Why?
So who has had access to who knows about it?
Well, I mean, occasionally we are very enthusiastic about our work, and so we tell the people. We also occasionally, like you just witnessed, sleep at odd hours, work until we pass out, that sort of thing. Sometimes we forget to lock the door, and so I don't know. Any number of people could have come in here and stolen this component while I was asleep.
Oh dear.
Especially if they can turn themselves invisible or muffle the sounds of their footsteps.
I mean, is there like a teacher or a head person for the scribes that would lose their jobs to this machine?
Well, a lot of the professors are concerned that my invention will lower their reputation and influence in the city. I mean, you will need less teachers if everyone has a sort of base level of knowledge, and so they're concerned about, losing their salary.
Personally though, you have a case to where I think it'll actually help them. And here's why. Because they will be able to get their research out. They'll get their research out to other city states. Other city states will want them. More cross pollination of information.
I see what you mean, but I don't think they would see it that way.
Well, you just have to convince them. I mean, ultimately, your machine could result in a lot of unity.
Well, I never thought of it about like that. I suppose maybe because it's just been divisive amongst the faculty here. There's a man's name that comes to mind, a sort of ringleader of sorts for those who've been harassing me. What was his name? Yes. Yes. An older man. Thomas Florence. If I was a betting man, I would bet that he has something to do with this.
Thomas Florence. This is an adversary of yours who's someone who didn't like this thing being out there.
Perhaps you might even describe him as a nemesis of mine. Always harassing me, stopping by at odd hours, placing magical noisemakers throughout my lab.
Have you asked the guard to enact some sort of what's the word, restraint?
Well, he's not doing anything illegal.
It's part of the culture of the university.
Yes.
It's all understood.
Ah, okay.
And, but I think this time he's gone too far.
Entirely. You don't just steal a man's research or directly alter their results. It's simply not done.
Yes, well, his efforts did hamper my completion of the project, but I think since it was nearing completion, he got more and more desperate, so he decided to take more desperate measures and decided to steal the metal matrix. It is one of a kind, you know.
I see.
Well, that guy just set up a date between his kneecaps and my hammer.
Ooh, well, I have no doubt you are quite proficient in wielding that rather exquisite-looking maul of yours, my very large bronze friend. But I would advise against it. Thomas Florence is a man of great renown and reputation here, and attacking him without provocation might result in you being electrocuted or burned just to a crisp.
So get him to provoke me first. Got it. So where's this
Well,
guy?
I would not wish
Where's
harm
this
on
new
anyone.
friend?
Perhaps breaking of his kneecaps would teach him a lesson.
You know what? I like you a lot. Where can we find this guy?
Well, he often teaches and gives lectures in that very large building I'm sure you saw on the way in. In fact, the largest one.
Well, it's time for Fuck it, I give up.
All right. We get behind this. It's okay.
It's time for Slizzy to go to school. There we go. God damn it.
And then, so yeah, if you guys decide to go out, he says, "I wish you well in your quest. I shall prepare a suitable reward upon your return."
Huzzah.
And as you're leaving, there's a woman who has a blonde ponytail, and she also has glasses. She's more put together than Joseph, and she's carrying like these bags of, and you see some, and she's carrying these brown bags, and you see there's like grease pooling at the bottom of them. And she gives us a surprised look at seeing all the people in their lab, in this lab, but there is a look of recognition when she sees Gwyn. She says, "Oh, Gwyn, are these friends of yours?" Oh, and she says, "Yes, Professor Degir. Let me introduce them to you." And she goes through all your names. And then she introduces the professor as Leliana Degir, the one working on light pictures, is what she called them. And Leliana hands a sack to a very grateful Joseph, who begins eating with gusto. And he says, in between mouthfuls, "They both stole my metal matrix, Leliana." And she goes, "Oh, how horrible." Well, and he goes, "But don't worry, I recruited our new friends to go help me find it." "Oh, well, that's very kind of them."
Is this bag full of sweet treats?
It's full of like the equivalent of like a fantasy a breakfast sandwich.
Ah,
So there's it's like smoked sausages and an egg on like a biscuit.
Excellent. For some, I was picturing like a burlap sack just full of breakfast sandwiches. Here you go. Making my rounds.
He every time you think he's done eating, he pulls out another one from the bag. It seems to have an endless supply of sandwiches.
Oh my god.
You should see if he can spare one.
Yeah, somehow.
Do you? It's like Leliana does see your longing look at his bag. She says, "Do you want the other one?"
I mean, do you have one for cheese?
There are some. She looks in this one and she says, "Well, mine was just egg whites and cheese on a bagel." I'll just take
bagel.
It's like a round Imagine a biscuit, but the holes poked out of the middle.
That actually sounds quite good. That actually sounds quite good. Is there any more left?
Well, let me just get. And she just reaches and pulls out 2. And she says, "You guys can have the rest."
I'll gladly take one.
Fuck yeah.
It's a bag. Looking inside, you don't see anything. It's just an endless expanse.
It's on a bagel, not an English muffin. I throw it on the ground.
It's literally it's pitch black in there, and so you just throw it on the ground. It lands with a heavy thud.
Garbage.
You're supposed to reach in and pull out what you
I don't understand why you would poke a hole out of the middle of it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to reach in and pull out what you want. I mean, there's food in there.
I reach in. I picture a nice Gruyere.
I mean, you have to picture what's in. I told you what's in the bag. You have to picture what's in the
Damn
bag.
it! Well, then I don't want anything, Nathan. I don't want none of that.
She ordered. This is her breakfast. She's giving to you.
Okay. I say that to her. I don't want your shit.
Okay, it's fine. I mean, it's not for everyone. I mean, a lot of people don't like egg whites, so it's cool.
Good talk. Love our little ducks. Bye.
Anyone else want anything? I mean, I ordered the same thing. It's going to be a bagel with egg whites and cheese on it.
Sure. I'll have the same.
All right, and Alistar, you would recognize this. This is a specialized bag of holding. It's designed exclusively for food. Because it's a magical city. They use this to transport food and to keep it hot and fresh. And
Trademark.
And yeah, so it seems you don't know what exactly the capacity is. You would imagine it's smaller than a regular bag of holding because it's so specialized. But as far as you just keep on thinking of what she described to you, and you just keep on pulling out these sandwiches.
This seems far more practical than a printing press.
Yeah, right.
Oh, these are quite commonplace in Odessa. You don't have them in Stormhaven.
Don't think so.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
It's very much a cultural thing to make the sandwiches yourself.
Yeah. Anyways, good talk.
Yes. Well, when you come back with Professor Goodmount's metal matrix, perhaps I can show you my light receptor device and how it captures light pictures.
Yeah, sure. Are we like investors or something? Everyone's trying to get in on our fucking. It's throwing out. Hey, I'm working on this. Come check it out.
They're just very young, I'm sure they're just essentially grad students, or
Yeah, they look like that to you. They're not tenured professors, so to speak. They're very young.
Fair enough.
Enthusiastic individuals.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess we keep going to this professor guy, this place.
Yeah. So Gwen leads you to the largest building, and she's only offering because a lot of you don't look like students, and so you get some odd looks, and you might get stopped by security. So that's why she's with you. Alistar, this main building is the one you taught in.
oh,
And you get this sense of deja vu once you step through. There's the vaunted ceilings, all the magic devices in here operating. It is harmony. It is perfection.
You see, Alistair is just kind of like slowing down a bit, just kind of like gazing up at the wall, and it's like this like kind of wistful bout of remembrance kind of comes over his face. Well,
Uh-oh. You had to go to the washroom or something? What's up?
Some old memories keeping up. Well, trying to, anyway.
What do you mean?
This is where I used to teach.
Oh, this is where you tore people up and checked out their insides?
No, it's not like that.
Isn't
Not
it?
like that.
That's the next wing over.
Oh, shit. The butchery ward.
Hardly. That's reductive. Entirely reductive. I taught here. This is where I did my work. Of course, research is separate from what you teach the students.
Nice.
Quite a few bright minds came and went through these halls.
Well, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the entry, for the new students. So you don't recognize anyone here, Alistair, but Gwen is leading you to the upper floors, and they sort of designate how so essentially it's like freshmen, so to speak, on the first floor, and then sophomore, then junior, then senior. As you're getting to the upper levels, as you start to notice, you start to recall some of the faces of the professors that are walking around. The students, of course, would have graduated already, so you don't recognize them. But some of the professors, you definitely do recognize. They just, of course, look older, and some of them are giving you strange looks. Alistair.
Can I would like to try and single out one of them.
A very old-looking man walks by, and he says, "Good afternoon, Professor. Wait, I'm sorry. Do I know you? Why did I call you that?"
We may have worked we may have done a symposium or attended a conference of some sort together. What was your name again? And I'll extend out my hand to shake.
And he says, and I didn't think of a name for this person, but he'll say, Gregor, Gregor Blackwood. And I'm maybe old, but I'm not senile. I have a way with faces. I definitely would have remembered someone like you. But I can't. It's like I can't place where I know you from.
No.
Or your name, for that matter. What was it again?
Alistair Winthrop Delfontaine.
Yes. I can't say I've ever heard of you, but you seem familiar to me somehow.
Worked mainly in the theoretical applications of magic, the law mastery, to be specific.
Perhaps. Maybe I read a paper of yours at some point.
Would you be entirely adverse to... I'd like to try something, if that's all right.
What is it exactly?
I have a working theory, and this may have been involved in it. There may be a spell affecting you without you knowing about it. This is no cause for alarm. It could be affecting a great many of people, almost like a background radiation. But I would wonder if you would be adverse to me attempting a simple dispel on you, if that's all right.
Well, my good Mister Delfontaine, I often cast a spell magic on myself. In the case experiment goes awry and you are engulfed in magical flames. But perhaps I missed something in my off castings of this spell. Something that you may find. Please, go ahead.
Okay, and
I seem to trust you for some reason, but I don't know why.
I'll go ahead and I'll cast Dispel Magic.
And what are you trying to dispel? It's targeted. You should have to say what you want to dispel.
I am trying to dispel the memory fogging effect that would be on him.
All right. Nothing happens when you cast a spell.
Okay.
He says, "No, I still don't remember exactly where I know you from."
Well, it's worth a shot. Best of luck to you. I would know like what he does and his.
Yes.
Okay.
He's very old, so he's like in his 70s probably. So he would be a very well respected, tenured professor here.
What field does he work in?
He works in. I'm just going to do the magic types. He would be a. He would be a enchantment wizard. Actually, no, sorry. He would be a abjuration wizard.
If I may ask, did you ever get around to that particular spell bouncing and reflection mechanism that you were trying to apply to those cards?
Oh, how did you know about that?
I must have read some of your research.
Well, it's still in the experimental stage. Of course, you see, we have successfully applied it a few times, but we're looking for consistency. You see, that is the key.
Of course, replication and all that. Best of luck to you.
And to you, my good sir.
Alistair tries to hide the pain like you would if you're talking to like an old.
Yeah, you definitely were like at the very least, good acquaintances with this guy. Like you talked often during your lunch break.
Yeah, this is like
talked during your lunch break. You shared what you were researching on. You occasionally, had held events, and you attended the same events outside of social events and stuff.
Can I insight to see if he actually just didn't know him anymore, or if he was kind of playing it up?
Gwen is looking very confused. Like, you taught here? What? I didn't realize you were a professor.
Ooh.
You can't. You with a 6, you don't get anything really.
I just have my sad walking away like
like the Hulk,
like
the
Lionel
TV
with
show.
his blanket.
Just like I know you remembered. I know you were.
Well, that was hard to watch.
Yes, I didn't exactly want to come here. A lot of bittersweet memories.
Yeah.
What? It's weird he didn't. Why didn't he remember you though? This is Gwen talking. You seem to know him, all right, but he seemed to. He seemed to maybe not be able to put a name with a face, so to speak.
Yes. Well, Gwen. I have suffered a curse of some sort. Kind of speaking in a little bit hushed tones. This I did. I used to teach here. I was a professor. I used to be a whole lot more powerful than I am now.
Like a famous one?
Well, In some circles, some could say something of the sort. I wouldn't be as vain as to say all that, but I certainly got up to some discoveries and quite a bit of research. Although that bit is a little bit fuzzy now. There was a force of power cast some sort of spell or ability and made everyone that I knew forget who I was and for me to forget what I had done.
I never heard of something like that before.
Yes, well, it's a bit of a sore spot. Creatures of great power usually have magic that is beyond, mortal kin.
Well, I hope you get that sorted.
Me too.
So you don't remember what you did?
I know it was something like I'm doing now. But no. I just knew I knew I was a researcher and a professor. I'd go on expeditions. I would lead, enthusiastic youths to make new discoveries and challenge themselves, and they would make breakthroughs and well lauded. I pushed it too far. I put my humanity aside for the pursuit of knowledge and paid the price. I thought I was smarter than the entity I was dealing with.
Gwyn says, now that does sound very Odessian.
Isn't that always the way?
She says, well, here's Professor Florence's office. She's led you to a door at the end of the hallway.
Is there anyone around, like, watching us?
It's pretty quiet on here. You're on one of the upper floors. It seems like, in fact, there's not many students on this floor, like, at all, really. It seems like some deference was paid to Gwyn because of her status as part of the Lancaster family. So not many people ask any questions. But you're a very quiet place right now.
I'll kind of like fumble in my coat to make him show it. Where did I keep that key? Oh, that's right. Aja, you had the key, didn't you? You ever look?
The key to what?
The office. You have the office. You have the key to open this office.
I don't remember having a key, but
You
I
have
can
the
pick
key
the lock.
to open.
I was just too drunk right now on cold
Well,
Do
medicine.
I really have the key? I don't remember.
He's talking about lockpicking
I was
because you're a rogue.
trying to be surreptitious.
You technically you always have the key in the family where you're a lockpicking set. That's what he's getting at.
Yeah.
Gwyn's like, well, I mean, he's inside. You can just knock.
Oh, he's inside.
Yes, he's not teaching right now.
I see. Well then.
Jesus.
Good catch.
Professor Alistar Winthrop.
What? Well, breaking into each other's offices is a time-honored tradition in this college.
And they're like, yeah, you're leaving magical fanny packs on their seat and stuff like that. Usually you enchant the chair to send them flying when they sit down on it. That's one thing you do.
Mm-hmm.
So if ever falls a spell you always have prepared just in case.
So, I guess we'll just knock on the door.
It's very haughty looking but nasally voice. Yes, come in.
Open the door, walk in.
And you see a very thin, wiry looking man, around the same age of you're not supposed to. He's a bad person. Yes, I have caricatures of good and evil people. But he's a very thin, wiry man with like a light brown hair, clean shaven. He does have spectacles, but they're not thick rimmed. They're very neat and small on the bridge of his nose, and he's going over some documents. Maybe tests of students and grading them, Alistair. And he says, "What can I do for you? You're not one of mine. I do recognize a red-haired woman, though."
I wouldn't recognize this guy, right?
No, he's far too young.
We had a couple of questions regarding a bit of research that has been going on around here. What do you know about this printing press?
He stops. He was grading your papers while you were doing this, and then he stops. And he sort of sits back in his chair and pushes it back. And he says, "A fool's errand, of course. A mere book, no matter how mass-produced it is, can never take the place of a well-learned individual, brought up on the finest tutors, steeped in tradition and magic."
Can I kind of see what happened, what was going on in his face when we mentioned the printing press?
You can get an insight check.
Okay.
He definitely knows what you're talking about. He's definitely peeved at the mention of it. But you also get the feeling he's hiding something. Of course, Joseph, Professor Goodmont, couldn't stop talking about his invention, how it was going to revolutionize the unwanted, the pores, so to speak. And so he had all of us professors gather around as he tried it out. It didn't work the first couple of times, of course, the first dozen, really. Took him a while. But I'm glad to see that he's finally got the old thing working.
You wouldn't happen to have accessed this particular bit of research, have you? Didn't work with it at all?
Now, why would I want to do something like that?
Could be on the cusp of something. Could be maybe infatuated with what has got this fellow so caught up in his work.
He says, "I can assure you, my good sir, that I have no such interest in Joseph's contraption."
This guy sounds like Squidward fucked. Sorry, that's my. Please continue.
Okay, I wanna.
I mean, can we insight this guy?
I wanna.
There it is.
Good. Say, well, would any of my dragonborn friends have any questions they would like to ask? I need to think for a bit. And I want to.
Do you perform experimentations on where arcane ability comes from by chance?
Are you asking me?
Oh, I'm asking the L-looking dude.
Oh, he says, "Miss, you obviously don't know how magic works. We will it into. We are not like the lesser clerics who rely on some deity, paladins,
Well, I'm not looking for
or
deity. I'm just, because even I
backwoods hillbillies. We will magic into existence. We shape the world as we see fit.
I want to, as I'm turned around, I want to, if I can surreptitiously cast locate object,
Okay.
and
You
I
will need to do a sleight of hand check because you're doing this in front of a, very good wizard, so he knows spells.
Yeah. Because I know that he knows magic, I don't want to try and find the actual part. I want to find lead.
Okay.
lead.
Yeah. I want to see if this guy's got a lead box that he keeps things in to try and stop people from finding them.
Ah, I see. Yeah. You can definitely use locate object on that.
Pretty clever.
Okay, so sleight of hand.
You can
Yeah,
guidance.
buddy.
You can try to guidance yourself if you want. I'll give that one to you if you have guidance.
Okay, I do have guidance.
He slaps himself.
I
on
know
the
you're
ass.
not good with dex.
You got this,
I mean,
Alistar.
I'm not bad, but I'm not great.
Do himself.
Maybe a +1 at the most, +2.
Okay, all right. There's
Okay,
a 13.
Let me see what his perception is. Just his his passive was enough to notice that actually.
Damn.
So, he says, it is quite untoward to cast magics in the professor's office in full view of them. I ask you to refrain yourself. Good sir.
Is he stopping me?
He is not stopping you.
I
He
continue.
knows you're casting, but he doesn't know what you're casting because your back's to him. He can't see the signs you're making with your hands and stuff.
Making king
Nice.
signs.
Well,
Just like-
the somatic components are you making symbols with your hands and gestures.
And there are vocal components as well. Well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, that's.
Let's see here. I think I'll provide a spot of help, and I'll just kind of like. So, tell me, how are you? How are you? What is sort of is your first print going to be? And I'm trying to like kind of distract him, if that's the case.
I am completing the spell.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
I try to like distract him, like. So, what do you plan? What is your first big print publication that you want to do on this printing press here?
He says, I have no interest in engaging in Joseph's. And when he's speaking, Alistair, being a professor here, there's only two reasons you would refer to as a fellow professor as by their first name and not by professor last name. It is because you are very familiar with them, which you get the feeling from Leliana and Joseph that was the case, or it's because you're disrespecting them. And you get the feeling that that's the case here. He says, I have no intention of engaging Joseph or his device. Books should be worthwhile investments. They should be created by a scribe. They should be sold for an appropriate price. Knowledge is power, and as such, it should be priced appropriately. You wouldn't want the rabble being able to fling spells randomly and upset the natural order of things, would you?
Real?
Did I go dead, or is it just silence?
No, you're there.
Okay.
No one said anything.
So does anyone have anything else they want to say to him, or is Alistair going to just complete his spell?
Like I said, I was just trying to help Alistair. Like,
Yeah.
complete his spell.
You got his worldview. it mirrors, not mirrors it runs very closely to what the current
Political.
view is of in Odessa. Alice, did you complete your spell? There is lead. It is in under his desk, like in the floorboards under his desk,
Mm-hmm.
where his feet are. You're getting lead from there. I'm sorry. The cavity in the desk where you put your feet, under that is lead. There, that's better explained.
That's a ooh, okay. I think I'll if he hasn't caught on to what spell I've cast,
Yeah. A 13 was good enough to hide what spell you're casting from him, but not what spell that you were casting a spell.
all right. And I'll turn around. And in McGee's name, amen. And I'll
He says, "How
I'd
quaint
like
that
to,
you would."
yeah. I'll have like a minor illusion of what normally would happen when I cast kind of like the divine magic.
How quaint! A wizard who wasted some time studying as a cleric.
Now, I'm certain you've never brought anyone back from the brink, have you?
There's good money in being the medic for the war.
Not only that, but God, there's no better feeling than have someone right there on the cusp of death, about to fall off into the great abyss, and reaching out a caring hand and bringing them back up. You'll get there one day. Well,
There's no better
not without
feeling than
you.
causing that person to be in their predicament in the first place. It proves you're better than them.
Ugh.
Well, I don't know that entirely works out when you try it out. You never were. You don't seem like the hands-on magic type. Certainly not applied magic out in the field, adventuring. Relic acquisition.
He says, "I prefer the combat magics. There's no
Hmm.
better feeling than burning away the flesh of someone, starting with the extremities, of course, so they can smell it."
There's only
Look
one
of-
thing better than that, and it's breaking the guy's kneecaps that thinks that.
You could see Arlen just kind of visibly wince at that as it's starting to bring back flashbacks.
You need to understand how vilely disgusting that is, and you are and forever will be considered by pretty much the entirety of all living people, as long as history stands. That was awful what you said. That is abysmal and monstrous and disgusting.
To that he says, "Magic is a way to prove you're better than someone else. What better way than to prove it in a duel? The winner lives, the loser does not."
Are we talking about duels?
Are there magical duels? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, I mean, it's a. Let me history check.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if you're asking out loud, he probably won't deign
Yeah,
to
I'm asking it
answer
out
you.
loud. Yeah, I'm asking it out loud. So, yeah, I was asking it out loud.
Oh.
So,
He says, "If you would like, I can show you." And I would like everyone
Yeah,
to roll
please.
I like everyone to roll initiative.
Oh,
Excellent.
Okay.
Now you are within, 10 feet of this person, and this room is 30 feet.
That's what I like to
Less
hear,
than 30
bud.
feet. So there's no reason for you to, have have a
Boom,
board or a
baby.
field. Damn.
Ooh.
Well, this fight
Oh
might
my
go. This
goodness.
fight will probably go not as go really quick.
We just beat the piss out of this old man.
Well, he's not old, but yeah, you'll probably beat the piss out of him. He is a mage, so yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah, I think I'm going last, guys. I rolled a 5.
Well, you never know.
And I'm gonna have him roll. Oh, it should be.
I'm just rolling the second one to get on the tracker.
Man, yeah, he did not roll well. Well, actually, no. He would be slightly higher. I'm sorry. I don't think it matters, but he would be at a 14.
Aja?
Yep, I'm going
Oof.
last. Oh boy.
Big oof. No, you're not.
Aja, you there?
Yeah, she rolled.
Yeah, she got 22.
Oh, she got 1.
Oh, she has advantage, I think. No, she has advantage
no,
because her deity gives her advantage. She
Oh
worships
shit!
it.
I get
I do.
advantage.
She worships the time. I don't think you can do better than a crit.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind.
But yeah, so she worships because of her deity. That has chosen her. She doesn't really worship it. Rhea gives her advantage on initiative rolls. So she got a 22. Well, you just that's the third time. You only get 2. But oh yes, just put you up on the board. I got you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Ooh,
Well,
this is gonna be a rough round for this guy.
yeah, it is. We'll see if he survives the first one.
Another great ambush.
Yeah.
All right, Alistar, you're going first.
Let me show you, and then we just...
What are the dimensions of this office?
Probably 20 by 20. You're all
Okay.
standing in it currently, and you're within probably 5 to 10 feet of him.
Okay, so a fireball would be pretty.
I mean, you could do it, but you'd blow up everyone else in this room.
Gotcha. Okay. Since that's the case,
I'm gonna fireball.
I mean, the barbarian has advantage on dexterity saving throws.
Yeah, I'm fine. Fuck me up, dude. I don't give a shit.
Oh shit! Well,
everyone else though might maybe, and Aja has evasion. Erlen has nothing though.
I also don't. That would be very dangerous. I have 2
Mathematically, it makes no sense at all.
Wynn's here too. She's like, don't. Just his kneecaps. He's creeping with just his kneecaps. That's what Gwyn says.
Quadrupling like team damage to enemy damage.
Yeah.
Because it's 4v1, I'm not gonna have her join this fight because I feel like then it'd just be a slaughter fest. Because I think she's the one level lower than you, but still 5v1 would be just as.
Okay. So instead, I will be casting Scorching Ray at 4th level.
All right.
I'll say, well, let's put that to the test, shall we? And I'll ready these little bolts of flame. Wait.
Hit.
Nice.
On that, so at 4th. Hold on.
I think you just get extra rays. You get 2
It's
extra.
5?
Yeah,
Okay,
you get 5.
5 total. All right.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh my.
4.
Damn.
What is?
5.
Okay, so he is at the last 2. He as soon as it comes up, he's going to snap his fingers and say, "I don't think so," and a bubble of force appears around him. But your first 3 get through it.
Is that a spell he's casting?
He's casting shield.
Counterspell.
All right.
Yes.
As soon as it comes out, he goes, "Clever girl."
And then he gets blasted in the
He gets
goddamn
blasted.
I
face.
don't
But-
think so. Squared.
Even though you counterspelled his shield, it appears that there's somebody else that's interfering with their magic. It's like those your first 3 definitely should have like hit him right in his face, but there's like being deflected off of his person somehow.
Is he being injured?
He is still being hurt, just not as much
Okay.
as you would expect.
Okay.
All right, and with that, I'll ready my shield. I'll bang my shield, my breastplate. See, a little too slight of a frame for you. Could have come in handy.
Aja, I think. No, Slizik is next.
Yes.
We'll see.
I'm going to rage.
As you do.
I'm going to flip some tables over as I walk over here. Just tell me if this doesn't work, because this is kind of a weird map. But I'm going to try and move here. Can I do that?
Yeah, you're within
I have 40 feet of
10 feet of
movement.
him. Yeah, this room is
Okay.
20 by 20. It's
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's why I don't have a battle map for this, because it's literally like you can get to anywhere in this room in 30 feet.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna rage, and then I'm going to. I kind of want to do some wild shit right now. God.
Well, you can use your
let me
bonus
just-
action to rage. Just remember that.
Yeah. But I do have this ring that does some crazy shit. If I could find it, I can't find it anywhere. God. Damn.
What ring are
Wait,
you
is it
talking
this
about?
game? No, that's Gideon. Never mind. I was
Yeah,
thinking of the
Gideon
ring of
has the
water.
water elemental command.
Yeah, that's right. So
You have the orb of
yeah,
undeath.
I do.
Bullshit.
I don't think it.
I think it has vampiric touch, but you're not hurt, so it's like a.
It has inflict wounds, but that's a whole action, and I could just attack twice.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna attack twice.
All right.
Yeah, and then I'll zap him as well. Yeah, that'll do.
You have spells.
Are you?
Oh no!
no.
Second one hits though.
You have spells, Slizik. We checked.
Yeah, they're not as good as me just hitting him though. They're all like first level and then inflict wounds, which is not as good in theory if I could hit as me just attacking. However, only one hits, and there should be +2 damage to that, so it's
Oh,
13.
I'll add that.
Fuck.
And you gonna tase him?
Yeah, I'm gonna tase him. I thought I could do some. Oh, I forgot to use any of my stuff. Whatever. Where is it?
If Great Weapon Mastery is what you're referring to, right?
I was kind of thinking of it, but he probably. I mean, I
Well,
was going
you
to
have to declare before you attack, so you can't.
Yeah, that's the
do it
thing.
anyway.
I was gonna. I was going to reckless attack, but I didn't do that.
You
I'm
also
going
declare
to.
that before you attack as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just zap him. If I could find it.
You're raging, right?
Yeah.
Don't you got 2 attacks, don't you?
He did. The first one was a critical miss.
I forgot to say that.
He
I
has to
was,
say
that's right,
that
that's
I'm
right. So
attacking
you gotta
recklessly.
have kind of dicey.
Yeah. So if I can find my zap, there I have so many things I can do now. Oh, here we go.
Woo!
All right, DC 14. He had a
Oh, that was
19 on the save, so he takes half, I think.
Shit. Well, one of my worst turns.
I mean, you did 13 plus 4, 17 damage.
I forgot to activate half my shit.
Yeah. That's the pitfalls of playing too many characters.
Yeah. Also, I'm tired and drunk. I'll say that's, I think, my turn.
All right.
Can I make that attack at his kneecaps?
Sure, yeah. It gets his thigh instead because of
Oof, that's
Yeah.
a rough one. That's no
Aja.
fun.
It's your turn.
All right, the old standby.
A 12 is not going to hit him.
Man.
Wait,
Neither
Oh.
is an 11.
Oof.
damn.
Those were such good rolls for damage,
I
too.
know.
Wait, is like so you're within 5 feet of
Yeah.
them, right?
That's for the sneak attack. She doesn't have
Okay.
advantage, though.
I mean, she has to hit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, she has to hit for that damage to apply.
God, those were such good damage rolls.
Yeah. All right. He says, he just sighs and says, "Let me show you how it's
Now we're
done."
about to get fucking one
He
shot.
snaps his fingers, and 4 bolts of energy appear around him and zoom towards each of you. These are magic missile.
Oh,
Oh, that's adorable.
So I'm just going to click 4 times. Is this one for each of you?
One for each of us, okay.
So let's go in alphabetical order. So that's
Alistar first. Oh, Aja first.
Aja, Alistar,
Sorry.
Erlen, Slizik.
Like 3 A's.
3 A's. I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's like the most.
All right. So he says, "I'm not done yet. And that was just the appetizer. I need each of you, because you're all in front of him, to make a Constitution saving throw."
Are we? I kind of positioned myself so I
You
wasn't.
see, you're hitting his kneecaps. That's in front of him.
Oh, I thought you meant like we were all in the same
Oh
direction.
no. Oh no.
I think I get advantage on Constitution.
I think
it
it's
matters.
strength and dex.
Yeah, you're
con.
right. No, just
So
strength.
you somehow, Slizik, you plus 6, you save, Slizik. So you only take half damage from Cone of Cold.
Oh no.
oh, that's a big one.
Oh, that's
Everyone else, he rolled low on damage, got 2 1s. So everyone
Okay.
else takes 33 cold damage.
I just
Now,
six-
Slizik, do you have resistance to cold damage with your armor? I think you do.
I do, yeah. So I
So you
resisted
take
and
even less. You take 8.
I'm 8.
I have
Oh.
natural resistance to
Okay.
cold damage.
So I just fucking shrug it off. That's adorable.
I have natural resistance to cold damage.
Magic tickles
I'm
sometimes.
I'm just like, yeah, same.
30, yeah. Oh, 33 is a lot for Alice.
Oh,
I
man.
still have a reaction, so I can do uncanny dodge.
Yes, you can.
33 minus 16, I guess it is?
Yes.
Yeah, 33 minus 16.
So, that's a cool little party trick you got there.
And
You cooled my
will-
drink.
I will react, actually. And I will react. I will react, point my finger at him, and I cast Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
At 2nd level.
Okay, dex save.
DC 14.
There you go.
Sorry, what was the total damage?
For you, with evasion, it'd be 16. After evasion has been applied.
Doesn't
Actually,
evasion just-
sorry, not evasion, uncanny dodge. I'm sorry. Evasion is for dex saves. Okay, so DC 14 dex. He got a 17, so he takes half.
He takes 11 points of damage. Hey, that's pretty good, though, all things considered, for my first time casting the spell.
He says that hurt a bit. And then after that, he turns invisible.
Right.
Okay.
That's fine.
And that's
Do I
his
still
turn.
get an opportunity attack if
He's
he
not
moves
moving
if
away
he's
from you.
invisible? Well, no, I just want to know for my own knowledge.
If he moves away from you, I believe, because you can still hear him move.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
But you'd be attacking with disadvantage.
Sure. Unless I'm recklessly.
Yeah. Erlen, it is now your turn.
Okay, I'm just checking one thing here. Shoot. Okay, well, I am going to make an attack from where you last was and hope that I hit him.
You guys, if you had all hit, you probably would have knocked him out, because...
I literally just blanked on half of my
So I'm rolling
abilities.
at disadvantage, right? to hit him?
Yes. If it's an attack roll, it is.
Yes, it's an attack. It's an attack roll, so disadvantage. First attack. Oh, that's bad.
That's gonna miss.
Second attack.
You guys have +7. I thought you'd be okay. This, he will shield at. And Alistar, you can't see him cast the spell, so it goes off. But he will no longer be invisible.
Wait,
So my attack is just negated.
Yes.
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Counterspell, you have to see him cast it. He's invisible.
I already used my reaction because my turn's not back yet.
Oh. Well, he'll
also he just spelt his spell slot to go invisible for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So
If
I
that-
hit him, but nothing happens.
Yes. As soon as he's invisible, but you hear some movement, and you swing at there, and then you just hear a chuckle, and it bounces. Then he reappears and then bounces off this bubble of force that's around his hand and himself.
Damn these magical shields. That's the end of my turn.
All right. Now it is Alistar's turn,
Okay, so he's no longer invisible,
but there's a
Right.
shield up.
but he does have the
Like
shield.
the arcane, like distortion. I guess it would be right.
Yeah, it's like a mirage effect on him.
I gotta get some music going. What am I doing?
Okay, so I will cast. I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself
Good move.
at 3rd level. So Healing Word, cast it level 3.
And you get a
How is
cantrip.
that? How is that possibly? What
Oh
happened?
my goodness.
You rolled very
How is
poorly.
that possibly? What
Oh
that
my
is?
goodness.
You rolled a 1 or a 3. You know what? You got +2 wisdom
It's not-
modifier. That's
yeah.
why.
Okay. So I'm a little over half health.
Got a
And
cantrip.
I'm yes. That's a no. Not a cantrip. I'm going to use my dragon hand cannon
Oh,
and force a seething throw.
now it is a cone, and Slizik is right in front of him. He's between.
Can
Slizik
I-
is between you
Hit me,
and
baby.
he.
Yeah, it's cold damage. He's
Yeah.
Is
Okay. So he will get hit no matter what. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Erlen will too as well.
It's also like a con save, I think.
Yeah, it's a
so-
con save. So they will both get. Those 3 will get hit.
Okay.
But who's the third? Oh, Erlen?
Yeah. Erlen's also engaged with melee. It's a cone attack.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, what about?
I mean, you have Aja is a range. She uses a crossbow, so she can be far back. But you 3 are
Even,
literally
like,
like
where he
grouped
is
up
now?
with him.
Is he able to move to a spot where it wouldn't hit Erlen? Like that?
Oh. Well, I don't.
I don't think it's possible in a room of this small, only with a spread of 15 feet on the cone.
So you're a con save.
Con save.
Fuck.
He rolled a 20 on the con save.
I
What?
don't like.
He's not good at con. Like
Wait,
he
do I
rolled. That's a
actually
nat.
got
He
to
rolled an
roll?
18 on the die.
Do
Yeah,
all of
plus
us have
2.
to roll con saves, by
The con
the
save.
way?
If you're in
Oh, is it-
melee,
I am in melee. Oh shit.
yeah.
It is cold damage, so you at least take half from your resistance. Oh, that makes it.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
you
that's cold
only
damage.
take
So I only
3.
Only take 3 damage. Hey!
Slizik, you take 7 because of your armor,
Yeah.
and he takes 7 because of his save.
Cold damage.
You have quite a bit
What?
of interesting magic items. I will enjoy taking them from your unconscious body.
Oh, I don't think so. I think we're going to be leaving you with a nice printing press, and we'll tell everyone.
All right, is that your turn, Alistair?
Yep, that'll be my turn.
All right, Slizik. Now that you've remembered all your abilities, I'm assuming you want to deploy them.
Yeah, I just have a question. Like, I'm assuming like the wording of my extra attack is if I take an attack action. I'm assuming me using vampiric touch wouldn't count as an
No,
attack
it
action.
counts as casting a spell. It's different.
Okay. No, just want to double check. Then I will. Yeah, I'm gonna reckless attack. I won't. He has the shield up, right?
Yes.
Then I won't. Great weapon fighting, but I will reckless attack on both of these.
All right. Do you want to do anything vis-a-vis vis-a-vis what your magic item can do, your maul, because you have your
I
bonus
mean,
action.
it lets me cast spells. None of them are bonus actions. I mean, I guess the
is a bonus
Thunderous
action.
Smite. Yeah.
Just asking if you want to do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, good thinking.
If you want to do max damage.
Yeah, I might as well. So yeah, 1, 2.
Okay, so
Probably
those
miss
with
with
shield up,
shield.
those both miss.
Ooh.
Nice.
You were one shy of the first one. I'll give you that. I'll let you know that.
Well, I'll activate my Thunderous Smite for what it's worth,
Yeah, it'll still be up. It's next time you hit.
and then I'll zap him.
He fails, so
He doesn't. Sorry, I don't think he takes rage damage from.
Yeah, and
I think it's only melee.
Yeah, he'll take 9.
So it's just
though.
the 9. Yeah.
All right.
Well, this has been very disappointing. A couple rounds.
Aja, it is your turn.
Give it the old college try.
No!
Damn.
He's still alive. None of those hit.
I hate him.
He's
It
not.
takes a lot of balls to get into a fight with like 4 other people.
Yeah.
Just say like, fuck it, I can take him.
He looks at you, Slizik. He says, "You.
I
don't like you.
Yeah, you
I
kinda
think
suck,
you'd be
dude.
better as a sheep."
I don't like this. I don't like.
I
Are
need
you
to make
implying something? Are you setting up a cool line for a badass spell against me? I don't like it.
I think you make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Not my brains. Oh, I'm so bad at those, dude. I'm so bad at those.
He is pretty good at spells, so
believe-
I don't even know if you can
I
actually
believe-
make this. No, you are.
Oh,
So
no.
We're not.
your world gets very simple, and the colors of how you perceive
So
the world
simple.
change, and
Oh no.
you shrink, you get smaller, and you're looking down at your feet, and they're like hooved, and you try to talk, but you let out an adorable bah!
Wait, so I think I'm a sheep?
So everyone else,
No,
no,
you
you
are
are
a
a sheep. He used polymorph on you. Everyone else, you just see Slizik turn into an adorable, like, baby sheep, and in front of you, a lamb.
No, a fate worse than death.
And everyone else, he will magic missile again. So just 1 to each of you alphabetically again.
How the fuck is he doing this?
Because
Polymorph,
he has
probably?
special abilities. I have to do something so he
No,
can
I get.
so
I
he
get
can
the
mitigate
fact that he is
4v1.
polymorph.
Okay, otherwise
Okay,
you just
I was
murdered.
gonna say- That makes more sense. I do know the spell
Oh.
polymorph.
Okay, so Aja's is blocked. I'll still cast 3 because you put that up. So Aja took the first one, which is blocked from her with shield. 5 to Alistar and 3 to Erlen. And then
Oh my
he
god,
will
fuck wizards.
go invisible again.
Before he goes invisible again, he's going to take another Hell Shabuke.
Ooh,
Very good.
all right.
Very good.
What's sorry?
If this
15.
hits, does
I'll
it
take
knock
the
him
first
in
one
on
here. And he will try to save on that. He got a 4 though. So 15.
He's being torched alive right now.
15 does he's well past bloodied now, but he will still try. He's still like burned. He passed out the flames hurriedly and turned invisible. And he does take well, no, he's still with melee range of Erlen, but that's his turn. It's now Erlen's turn.
So I see the flames, right? Before
No,
you bring them
with
out.
invisible now you don't. He patted them out. He turned invisible.
Damn it! Damn it! I want to use this. I want to use this Mystic Frenzy, but I can't. Because I can't see him. Oh, I can't. Just requires sight.
Oh, are you
Oh,
having
wait,
a
wait,
tough
wait.
time? Are you a sheep right now?
Polymorph is concentration. He took damage from the spell. He needs to make a save.
Oh, thank Christ. I don't want to be a sheep.
Let me see if he makes it.
Needs to be the 15.
No, it's for concentration. It's 10 or half the damage, whichever is higher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he does pass. He got a 14.
Damn it!
So you are still a sheep.
Fine. I'm taking 2 attacks.
So you're at disadvantage because he's invisible.
Hold up. Sorry, I'm just trying to reset the real quick. Okay, nope, I have to. I gotta attack twice at disadvantage. I used up all my spells.
I mean, you did a lot. That last one did a lot of damage to him.
No.
That's going to be a miss. He doesn't have his shield up, but it still misses him. You just hit empty air as you swing. That one hits him.
That one hits him. Okay.
That's another concentration check.
Takes another 14 points of damage.
It's another concentration check. That's true. He critically succeeded.
God.
He's just a right bastard on all his saves.
He really is so weenie.
I can't find a sheep stat block, Nathan.
Well, basically, you're dumb and you have
I want to
nothing.
bite him.
You can't.
God
Your intelligence
damn
is like 2. You're looking for grass to eat currently.
Oh yeah.
It is Alistar's turn.
All right. Don't worry, Slizik, I'll help you.
Hit me.
I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at 2nd level, and I'm gonna 2 of them are gonna go for
So
Slizik.
check Discord, by the way.
I think that's a homebrew.
And let's see.
Do you know Polymorph?
Do I know Polymorph?
Yes.
No.
Give me an Arcana roll first,
I see. Okay.
just to figure out how the spell works
Yeah,
and if you
that's-
think you can
that's
knock him
fair.
out of it. Okay,
20.
yeah, you're pretty sure inflicting damage on Slizik will knock him out of the spell's effects.
Okay. I'm just gonna do. Sorry, not at 2nd level, just at 1st level. Yeah. So a quick magic missile. 3 of them are gonna get hit. Slizik.
All 3 of them hit Slizik?
Can I? They have to. Can I? It says each dart hits a creature of your choice you can see within range. I can't see him
Yeah.
because he's invisible. Do they have to hit a creature, or can they hit?
I think, if it says creature, I think it has to hit. I would allow you to hit an object, but you have to see it. If you can't see him,
Okay.
you can't make it hit him.
I'm gonna have the first one hit Slizik, and the rest will go and hit that floorboard.
All right. Yeah, you can't see it, but you definitely hear your magic missile punching through the floor, and then at the last one, you hear it go donk, like it hit something harder than wood.
Aha! Could have been a bit more clever with the way you hit it. Classic. Beneath the floorboards. Come on, man. That's cliche.
Slizik, you were very hungry and you were looking for grass to eat, but you found none, so you were very sad. And then all of a sudden you hurt a lot, and then all of a sudden you were back to Dragonborn.
Well, that was the worst 3 seconds of my life.
Does he take any damage?
Sure do.
Let me see what the spell says. I think the damage carries over.
Yeah, for polymorph, yeah, that's how Keyleth.
Yep. Within the first 5
so
seconds.
you only had like 1 health as a sheep, so the 4 carries over.
But no sooner was I looking for grass than all of a sudden I was looking for ass. No, that's dumb.
Okay.
But I think you have a
Yeah.
bonus action but you can't cast a spell.
Yeah, I don't think I have bonus action.
Healing word?
You know what? No, that's a spell. I can't do two spells.
Shit.
You know what though? Hey, Dia.
What do you want to do?
Jesus
Can
Christ.
can I snort some rush as a bonus action?
Yes.
Oh,
So
oh no.
Yes.
no.
Unfortunately you can't, because
Oh.
there is a rogue archetype that allows you to use an item, an object, which is what that would be as a bonus action. And if everyone could do it, it negates the benefits of choosing that subclass.
Fair enough. as a bonus action, can I like look for something like magical of use in his office? Maybe.
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check. I mean, you still have your movement too. You could go around to see what your magic missile exploded.
Yeah. I think I'll just go over. I'll just kind of. Can I get like behind him, like that, and still be kind of a little bit further away, or is that too far?
Like you can probably skirt the edges of the office and get around them.
Yeah. I want to keep a little bit of distance between myself and him, but yeah, I guess I'll take a I'll take a peek at the floorboards then.
Yeah, you definitely see that there's like some. It looked like there was a hidden door or there that your thing just smashed through because you can see some evidence of like some machinery and some metal parts involved. But those have been broken with your spell, and then there's a dent in this lead sort of. We only see one part of it, but this lead sort of surface. There's a dent in it where your magic missile hit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it is now Slizik's turn. You don't see the man who turned you into a sheep, but you can smell him.
I sure can. Yeah, I'll reckless attack again, I suppose, just twice.
So this is just standard rolls then, because he's invisible.
Yeah. I also, I don't know if I said it last time. If not, I can do it now if it's too cheesy. But I would have activated my Thunderous Smite last turn because I was planning to do it. Not that really matters because I don't think I have a bonus action I can really use. But I'll just Thunder Strike this guy.
All right.
Oh, baby.
Even with shield, those would have both hit. So you would just hear now, Slizik, I'm going to ask you.
Mhm.
Gwyn did ask you to only go for his kneecaps. In other words, non-lethal damage. Do you do
I'm
lethal or
swinging
non-lethal?
low.
Okay.
I'm doing golf swings.
Okay, so I'm just going to say you're doing non-lethal damage then.
I'm swinging for the caps, baby.
And you just hear an audible crack and and then this person falls down. He pops back into view, falls down, clutching his right knee. He's like, "You bastard! You broke my kneecap!"
Johnny fucking Baseball up again. Let's go.
You're supposed to move when you go invisible. Everyone knows that.
Bad move, guy. You really just kind of stood there. Whoo! Right in the caps, baby. Good day. Good day.
Ah, curse you!
What were you saying about magic? It was being super rad or whatever.
He says.
Now, when you say curse, do you mean like an actual useful curse, or just like I'm weak and I can't do anything, so I'm mad at you curse?
Oh yeah, it's the
it's
latter.
Definitely the second one. This guy. Look at his
DM
leg.
is the latter. He doesn't. He says security. You look like he's reaching for a button underneath his desk.
I smash his hand.
Oh, none of that. I want to...
You hear all the bones in his hand get smashed.
Well, I don't know if you're the professor of anatomy or what, but I don't think your leg's supposed to look like that, bud.
Yeah, it's bent the wrong way. It's just flopping around now. Yeah. Like below the knee, it's just flopping.
Is that bones? That's not normal. You should get that checked out.
I want to check this thing for any traps. It might
give me an Arcana check or investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Or detect magic if you want to use detect magic.
That's too expensive.
Yeah, you probably, since you made up a lot of noise, there's probably not 10 minutes to ritually cast it.
Oh my god!
This thing is booby trapped. If you don't unlock it correctly, it will explode outwardly and inwardly. In other words, incinerating the contents and blasting whoever tried to open it. I'll never tell you the password, you bastards!
So is it...
Yeah. Number 2, coming up.
I heard you're a good password. You're a safe cracker.
You can say that, sure.
All right, just give me an attack roll. He is prone, so you have advantage. So I just want to see because you should change you critically fail, and it'll be hilarious. But
I mean, I'm also reckless. Is it
I
still
don't think you can get double advantage. But
Ooh,
all right, yeah, just you go for the other
Johnny
kneecap,
fucking
right?
ball game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
crack.
going for those kneecap.
It's gone. Ah!
Woo!
Give me an intimidation roll with that,
Oh man, I should take up golf.
and you can use your strength
Intimidation.
modifier because
Ah shit.
oh.
Oh, with my strength modifier, that's way higher. It's 3 higher.
Okay. 15 is good
15.
enough with the damage you inflicted. Fine, I'll tell you. Just no
Oh,
more
boy.
pain, please.
Man, all that learning, all that book learning.
And he tells you it's something clever and magical, but I don't have the brain capacity currently to come up with something, so he just tells it to you,
Yeah.
and you open it up.
What kind of pin does he have?
He
Like,
has
is
he has a gold one.
Think
Like his
I'm gonna
robes are
steal
gold, I
it?
should say. Pins are for those like visiting. You wear a colored
Oh,
robe.
so he doesn't.
He's a gold robe.
I see.
Its
Okay.
pattern dictates him as a professor, but he's wearing a gold robe.
Well, fist wizards beat all. What can I say?
So, very, very good. Open, says me. Very good.
And,
So I'll just to make sure that he's telling the truth, I'll drag his face
just
over
press it
the-
against it.
Yeah, he's like,
Yes.
let's make sure this works.
Bunk.
I'm telling the truth, I swear. And yeah, it does open, and inside you find 200 gold pieces, 2 random scrolls that I will let you know of later after the session ends, because we're about there. And you find the metal matrix.
All this could have been avoided.
I think
I couldn't let him disrupt the natural order.
the natural one is. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take the contents of this safe here. No one need know about your malfeasance, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that would end your tenure here at this university, and in fact get you a new prestigious position in prison.
Yeah, there's a visible gulp when you say that, and that does appear to be the case. No insight check required from everyone else.
Is there anything? Can I find like any other like magical items around the office?
With your 34 investigation, there's nothing overtly magical in here. There's like curiosities and things, but and
I want to find like a nice little like a really cool like desk toy.
There's like
a magical desk toy.
those things that use inertia, the little
the ball, Newton's cradle.
Yeah, Newton's cradle. There's one of those.
What's this here? A little floating terrarium?
It says it uses the properties of gravity and inertia.
Is it in here? What's it? Oh, you've got a little. Oh, you really sprung for this one. I see you've got a little ecosystem in there, little glass beads, little critters walking around, and these little bits of moss. I like that.
No, not my exotic. He would say, what would he have? He would have lizards. This is not my exotic lizard collection. I got them from the deserts of the lead.
Not my lizards.
Not my lizards. My horned toad.
Do they have kneecaps?
You fiend.
You should be saying, not my job, not my livelihood, not my being able to live outside of a jail cell.
What would you do with the horned toad? You would know the first thing about taking care of them.
I'm very good at figuring things out. I take care of this one. And I point at Slitzer.
What? What does that mean?
Come on. I'm just joshing around. Well, I'll take that, and
so you pull out a it looks like a essentially a Gila monster and a horned toad. The one from Australia shoots the blood out of its eye. There's the 2 creatures in there.
What? How are you talking about?
There's a lizard called the horned toad, I think. It shoots blood out of its eye, like in a jet.
That's
Yeah,
legitimately the most rad shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's wild.
The-
Apparently it works. I don't understand
How?
why.
Like, does it have AIDS or something and it shoots it at
Like,
them and it's like a long
coyotes-
con?
Coyotes hate it, apparently. So
I mean, I'm not huge on getting shot with blood, but it wouldn't stop me like if I was hungry.
it's more like a snack, if anything, like a
Yeah.
appetizer.
But you pull out those two things, and he says, I was gonna call it Harold, but you had that taken. He says, George, no, Harry.
George and Harry. Well, unfortunately, they're gonna be very, very comfortable with, I think, someone who doesn't enjoy the smell of flesh being burned from someone's corpse. Yes, that's a much better.
Bye.
And
And of course, it goes without saying, no more meddling. This is entirely outside of the form. I mean, come on.
He's lying there with mangled kneecaps.
yeah,
You're supposed to, like, you make it
Okay.
harder for them to do research. You don't mess with their research or interfere in any way.
give me an intimidation with advantage.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
My,
you can
that's
guidance yourself
that's
if you
my-
want.
okay. Yeah, I'll do that. So it's, +0 with my luck stone.
Hey,
Okay.
he says, I understand. I swear I never bother Professor Goodmount again.
I see that you don't.
Mhm.
And take the items, and I guess,
How
tell you what, for being a good sport, I'll give him a healing word.
how big is the printing press?
Does
that
not
we
mend
have?
his shattered kneecaps, but
Yeah, that's gonna take some time there, bud.
but he
How
does.
big is-
Some of the wounds on him do seal up with that.
There's
How
that
big is-
divine magic. Feels good, doesn't it?
Alright.
Everyone
It's gross.
on that.
I don't like it. Yeah.
How big is the printing press that we have to lift back?
A metal.
Isn't it
One
just a
person
target
can hold
piece?
it, but it's still pretty big.
So basically, like 2 people.
Yeah, one
mean,
person.
can
A
I
very strong
alone-
person can carry it. 2 people can easily
Yeah.
carry it.
All right.
I got this. I walk out of the door whistling.
And
This
you
has
walk
been a
out
great
whistling.
day.
Gwen
Very
closes it
good
behind
day.
you very quietly. So are you the bad guys? Because that was pretty brutal. After you walk
Nope.
away for a bit.
Bad is such a
You-
relative kind of
You
concept.
do recall that he initiated the combat.
Yeah, but that was pretty excessive. Like robbing him and both the kneecaps and his hand.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. All mercy and all sense of, I guess, empathy went out the window as he was describing how much he loves to strip the flesh from people's bones so they can smell themselves dying. You recall that? You do recall that.
Yeah,
That's a
but I
person.
mean,
That's teaching the youth of today. That's
it
that's
does.
the minds of tomorrow.
She
and
looks
everything.
kind of sheepishly and very quiet. Says, "It does kind of smell good, though."
Okay,
Yeah, sure.
well,
Well,
That's
it could have
fucked
been
up.
worse. We could have turned him into a backpack.
Or a sheep. Trust me, as far as results go, this is one of the more mild ending
You
scenarios.
guys
that
from
this could
Stormhaven are crazy.
Well, from Stormhaven, not so much. Sent by Stormhaven, sure.
I'm Odessian, born and raised.
Do they teach a moral relativism class? Because perhaps you could maybe check in on that.
Only if you want to really pad out your.
I mainly come here to learn like magics that aren't
Okay.
taught by my family.
Well,
Like
keep an eye out.
essentially
Starting
the non-fire ones.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting a fist wizard school, so keep an eye out.
Okay. I mean, we do. There is a monastery, a monk monastery on the outskirts of the city. they might have some umbrage.
Wait, what?
Umbridge.
There has been nice. There has been a fist wizard school here.
I mean,
This whole
technically, if you
time.
want to look at it like that, technically they're like fist wizards. Like
This
we took
whole time.
a lot of how I fight and what Tyrion taught me is from monastic traditions.
This whole time.
It's not arcane, so it's not technically wizardry.
It comes
Oh
from
my god.
it comes from if I believe I know right from a friend of mine, it comes from balancing the energies within and then projecting it through that way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like what Kim or Karma or something
It's
like
called
that.
That was the best joke. I'm assuming you were playing off the fact that it's chi,
Yeah.
and you called it. Okay, that's a very good joke. Very good joke. I mean, I gotta check this place out at some point, but we definitely do have a job to do right now. So,
yeah, another area for me to build.
yay!
No, I'm just joshing. I love world building. It's cool. Yeah, and you guys bring it back without any fuss. I mean, you are eventually stopped by security, but with Gwyn there and your eyewitness statements of he provoked you. He attacked first. You know, they say they took him. He's getting they're getting him patched up, but it's still gonna be a while.
Yeah,
Shattered
patch that up.
hand
Good
and
luck.
kneecaps to heal. So he'll
That's gonna
be all cast.
That'll be hard to do without some divine magic. I think there's a good lady
Yeah,
that can help with that.
Luckily they say we have one place of healing. It's a temple of Mistra.
Oh, that's
They're taking him
beautiful.
Oh, that girl will be so happy.
So good. Yeah.
Oh, customer.
And yeah, so you bring it back to Joseph without any much more fuss. He seems very happy that you brought it back, and he offers you a payment of another 100 gold pieces.
Oh.
Each, sir?
Total.
Okay.
That's that'd be 75 total for everyone, including the
What?
200 from before.
Okay.
Let's just break it
Okay.
down very easy. So everyone gets 100 gold. Each person gets 100 gold. That'll be easier.
Okay.
Yoink.
That's from what you looted from the safe and what he gave you.
Jeez.
I have 100 gold.
I'm
If
gonna
you
start,
need gold, I can literally give it to Slizik doesn't really need it.
we're going to have to start converting some of this gold into platinum pretty soon.
If I get gold, I'm just gonna spend it on dumb shit anyways. So.
And to make a long story short, now that he basically shows you how the printing press works now that it's complete, and Leliana shows you how she calls it a light picture works. It's essentially one of those big like super flash. No, it's actually different. Basically, it's a specialized, very polished metal, like very thin metal plate that she inserts into this camera, and then she opens this aperture in the camera, lets light in, and then whatever it's pointing at, the image is engraved on that plate after she applies mercury to it in a dark room and lets it dry. After about 15 minutes, it becomes a picture. And I think I'm describing that right, but it's basically the very first process of making pictures called it's based on her last name is the same as the real person that made it. It's called daguerreotype photography. Made by Louis Daguerre. But yeah, and then you explain to them what you want to do, basically, with setting up Arden, and they agree to it. They agree to help you out. They just need a time and place, because of course, to get the camera set up takes some time.
So I mentioned the bit about so we get a bunch of Everyone knows the Find Familiar spell just about in this city. So we'll just
any even a student would know it pretty much.
perfect. I mean, who's more? Name a single individual who's more hurting for cash than an aspiring student. They'll do anything.
They like remember fondly those days. The recently recently words are hard. It looks like you were right. They had just graduated from grad school, and they were remembering fondly their old school days.
I remember signing up for being an experimental patient for new spells.
Ah, yes, it's a rite of passage. I'm sorry. Did you go to school here?
Yes, I did.
I don't recognize. Your name isn't on any research papers.
Well, it's a bit of a long story. Well, we don't need to get into it now. Regardless, though, I was thinking we offer a bit of cash to whatever student would offer their familiar to disseminate some of these papers. We can put down. We spell out the Norathian problem, the fact where they are, their most recent positions, what needs to be done, and who all has joined the fight so far, and what fate may come should they refuse.
And frame Auden in a separate publication, of course.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that needs to go across the continent exactly.
Oh, I was just talking. I thought you were just doing it merely throughout the city.
No. This would be. I'm thinking much bigger. I'm thinking we could
Interesting
try.
idea. I don't know if the Familiars have the wherewithal to travel the continent, though.
Well,
Because keep in mind, outside of the 100-foot range of Snarkcaster, there's a normal creature.
well, wait, no, I thought they're still smart. You can't just. It's just that you
I
can't.
think they have the same stats as a normal creature.
Is that right?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no idea.
Let me see.
It doesn't say anything. I know the horse one from Summon Steed from a Paladins mentioned specifically that their intelligence is higher. I don't think it does that for Find Familiar. It just says that they can understand your language you speak, and you can communicate with them telepathically.
Yeah. It always obeys your commands. It can communicate telepathically within 100 feet, and you can do the whole like see through their eyes thing when you're in that range.
Yeah, it says it has statistics of its chosen form in the very first paragraph. So it would be, a celestial, fey, or fiend creature type, but its stats would be those. So essentially, it would still be as dumb as a normal whatever creature. Prone to, hunger, getting eaten, perhaps by sheer volume, but the continent is a huge place, like thousands and thousands of miles. So, it's possible, but it'd be very difficult.
Are ravens smarter than
for scale? I'll give you the scale of the continent. The arrow here, the ruler, is to scale.
Okay.
So it's 1,000 miles from Khazar Dune to Rydal.
So if we want to be like...
And 1,300 miles from Odessa to Khazar Dune. That seems like a long way for a bird to fly.
Well, they do it every winter.
I mean, that's like instinctual though.
I say like we can poll out. We can poll out all people who have been to a certain place, and try to find those that have familiars that are familiar with those areas. It's better than nothing, especially. What, I suppose it doesn't matter though if we were to consult a cartographer, divvy out the exact direction of these areas, these towns and cities. We point them off into that direction and tell them to fly out that way until they see, a town, and then deliver the message.
Yeah, that could work because they're dumb, but they would try to fulfill the last sort of request of the person. They're the spell caster. So yeah, that definitely could work. But they mention as such, and they talk about logistics of it, and they probably say it's a matter for another time. Of course, they need to focus on production first. And they start to work on that. They say, send us when you where you want us to be and when for the Arden thing.
I will do.
I'm sort of speeding things along about to end session, and I wanted to end on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
And as you're leaving, breathing a sigh of relief, 100 gold richer, 2 spell scrolls richer, TBD. As you're leaving, you hear a feminine voice call out to you, Alistar. It says, Professor Delfontaine?
What?
And that is where we'll end the session.
Ooh.
Nice.
Okay.
This is the standard boilerplate for those. I don't think we had anyone listening, but for the recording, in case someone wants to watch it later. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Yep.
Bye.